Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about AI. More specifically, I want to talk about how AI isn't going to take your job. You see, I'm a bit late to this, but in the past few months, everyone's been making a stink about AI and acting like all software engineers are going to lose their jobs soon. And I really hate to hear all these alarmists on social media talking about how AI is going to be the end of software engineering. And I really don't see it that way, and I'm honestly not too afraid about the AI revolution that's happening right now. I feel a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, and I wanted to make this video to give my opinion on that. So, without further ado, the first reason why I think AI is not going to take your job is simply because they don't have the nuance or context that human engineers have for their projects. So, with the advent of all these AI tools like GitHub Copilot, Devin AI, or even just using ChatGPT, they're really great at spitting out easy to read, well thought out code, and they can solve coding problems pretty decently. But solving coding problems and creating little tidbits of code isn't software engineering. Software engineering involves so much more than I think AI tools can currently handle right now. Because in software engineering, there's so much beyond just coding. There's designing, there's managing sprints, adjusting the feedback, and so many other things that go into making great software beyond just coding. So while yes, AI is really good at just doing the coding portion of it, it's missing all the other context that goes into making great software. If anything, I just view AI tools as just that. They're tools. They're just something that you can use while you're programming to help you speed up your workflow or increase productivity, but it's not meant to actually replace anything. And the main reason why I feel like these tools can't pick up the slack that normal engineers can do is just simply for the fact that for it to work the way you think it would, like writing all the code that a software engineer would have to write, it would have to interface with so many different things. So, for example, when I worked at Amazon, I worked on a project that had a lot of moving pieces. We had an iOS app and also an Android app, but then we also had a back end, and then that back end connected to a lot of different microservices, databases, queues, you name it, we probably had it. It was a behemoth of a project. Security was also a big thing for us. And when we were writing code, we had to keep our security practices at the forefront. And so I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, but like, if we were to integrate some sort of AI system, even in the near future, with all these advancements that are coming out, it would still have to interface with, AWS, our backend code, our front end code, the iOS and Android apps. There are so many pieces that our app has that the AI would have to interface with and then understand just to be able to write any sort of competent code that I just don't think any AI tool nowadays is going to be able to offer that. It's something that only a human engineer would be able to do because only a human engineer can actually understand all these moving pieces and see how one might affect the other and takes care to write maintainable code that doesn't disrupt the system as a whole. And in the past few months, there's this AI that you've probably already heard about called Devin AI, which was released and touted as a AI software engineer that could pretty much do all the tasks that a software engineer can do. And while I'm sure Devin AI can pull its weight and output some pretty decent code, it's not going to be able to replace someone like me or really any other human engineer anytime soon. Every big software project has that little bit of nuance or tribal knowledge needed to be able to maintain that project in any meaningful way. And I just don't think that AI is there yet. So again, in this case, AI is just relegated to being a tool. Sure, Devin AI or GitHub Copilot can help us write great code, but they're not going to write code for us all the time. It's something that can help us code better, be more productive, but it's not replacing anything anytime soon. So another thing that people say about AI that kind of bothers me is when they say that in the future, if AI advances enough to actually do the thing that we are afraid that it's going to do, replace engineers, write code autonomously, let's just say that it does do that, right? Let's say that AI advances to the point where it can actually replace a human engineer like me, and then all we have to do is just feed it some sort of design doc, and within like a day, it'll output an entire system or piece of software or whatever. Let me just humor that scenario for a second. So let's say all that happens. I still don't think that software engineers are going to lose their job. Sure, the actual skill of programming and learning how to code might not be as relevant, but like with any groundbreaking technology, all it does is it creates new opportunities. And the thing with software engineering is it's one of those careers where you have to constantly be learning because we all know that the Java frameworks used 5 years ago are nothing like they are today. And so tech is such a dynamic field that we as engineers are constantly learning anyways. And so if AI advances to the point where it can actually just do everything that we're doing, don't you think that at least auditing or managing what the AI outputs is going to be a valuable skill? Because again, coding may not be as relevant anymore, but because the AI is doing everything, we need people to still look after the AI. And so I believe that's going to develop into a skill in and of itself. So again, because software engineers are constantly learning, they'll learn how to manage AIs within their company, maybe train it, whatever that entails. And software engineering will essentially evolve into babysitting AIs. Who knows? All I'm trying to say is that AIs won't completely put software engineers out of the job because we'll just adapt to the market and the technology and learn new skills. And to prove my point, remember like 10 years ago when the cloud was like the new kid on the block, the cool new thing. Everyone was talking about, oh, cloud this, cloud that. Guess what? A lot of big companies are hiring cloud engineers and paying them a lot of money because back then a lot of IT people thought that with the advent of the cloud that they were going to get put out of the job, but all it did was create new opportunities and better paying ones too. So this whole notion that AI advancing is going to put people out of the job is just nonsense in my opinion. As of right now, AI cannot replace the value of a good engineer because a good software engineer, a professional problem solver, is invaluable. If you have a really good engineer working at your company that can figure out pretty much any problem you throw at them, then a company would be foolish to get rid of someone like that. And to problem solve effectively, you're going to need a lot of context to be able to solve the problems that you're facing. And I don't think that we're in the spot right now for AI to remove the human element out of software engineering. Because even as AI advances, there's just something about the human touch that AI can never replicate. But what will happen is AI becoming a part of our daily lives. And I can see AI being used in many different places throughout our lives. Things like appliances, scheduling, medical, and so much more. But again, with progress comes new opportunities. So it's not going to be all doom and gloom. So with all that out of the way, I want to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think AI is going to put everyone out of the job? Am I just wrong about everything? Let me know in the comments below. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.